Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the WCW Worldwide Review Series for the 30th of June, 30th of April 1994. We open with Cactus Jack, who is and it almost seems like the show's joined in progress. Cactus Jack is waiting, and he is going to get a Texas Tornado match with Vader later in the day. This is, I think, one of the few from 1994 shows I have available. So anyway, Dusty Rhodes pulls the Texas Tornado style match out of a hat, and that is the match that we are going to have between these two individuals. Certainly, without a doubt, this is a interesting run there. The Patriot against Fidel Castro is up as the first enhancement match of the day. Patriot obviously is a guy who later goes on to become a tag team wrestler with Marcus Bagwell and Fidel Sierra. I called him Castro, I don't know why. Probably because I was doing a little bit of history research before recording this particular review. And anyway, Patriot goes, pretty aggressively in, hits a back body drop and gets some arm bars, arm locks. Poke to the eye by Sierra. Sierra, of course, doing the Cuban assassin thing over the years. Patriot missile shoulder block by the Patriot gets him the victory relatively quickly, and he is reasonably satisfied with that. Also a bear hug, inverted atomic drop, and then a big clothesline by the Patriot as well. Patriot is moving into a full Nelson slam and gets the move there. Then we go to a promo with Colonel Robert Parker. Colonel Robert Parker says he is going to purchase the WCW World Championship from Ric Flair. Not going to happen here. Bunkhouse Buck says he wants a rematch with Dustin Rhodes. Rhodes has claimed that he wants a bull rope match, and Parker says that's a bad idea. Needless to say, hooks him up and is very basic here. Match worth going out of your way to see is up next. Ric Flair facing off against the benefit of Lord Steven Regal in a Marcus of Queensberry style match. Very technically motivated. Probably a match that, for those that haven't seen the worldwide run, this having been in rounds. Obviously, William Regal, or Steven Regal at this point, is a tremendous wrestler. He's got his leg wrapped up quite well. I think he injured either his calf or his hamstring. Drop toe hold on Flair and rolls around there. Both guys grappling for position. Obviously, match probably doesn't age well if you're not into holds and counter holds here in 1994, but Flair is the babyface and actually does a leg necktie around the throat and neck of his opponent throughout. Then we see continuation of the hold on to the armbar by Flair. Flair not willing to take any backward steps. Fans in Disney are pretty well satisfied with everything that's going on there. And we begin to see kind of Flair with a roll through, and ultimately things are pretty aggressive and assertive there. Then Flair with the inside cradle small package type maneuver. Regal manages to roll over and through. Side headlock takeover by Flair, and Flair continues to be dominant throughout. Regal cuts him off with a series of European uppercuts, among other things. Regal not willing to take a backward step and tries to get a sleeper hold, and then again goes with the double knee jumps and the continuation of the round system, which really isn't explained quite well. The Marcus of Queensberry rules basically give, I guess, judges the ability to make the decision in the match, but kind of that time limit draw and the referee decision ultimately leads to Regal being declared the winner. We plug Slamboree 1994 with the bull rope match that had been plugged earlier in the contest. WCW Control Center leads us to the fact that Dustin Rhodes, who says he's in his early 20s and wants to prove himself here, is certainly not willing to take a backward step, wants the bull rope match, and has the bull rope against Bunkhouse Buck. Of course, Bunkhouse Buck, the former Jimmy Golden in the Carolinas and Alabama-type territories there. Then we go to Sting, who is saying he wants the international champion, Vader or Rude, whoever wins in that scenario. Sting says he's ready to go. Almost looks like the promo had been done after the run of matches because his paint looks partially cracked black and white. Larry Zbyszko later ends up interviewing Lord Steven Regal. Regal insulting the American people. Huge promo, wonderful promo, and worth checking out if you haven't before. This is the promo that actually turns Larry Zbyszko babyface in that he stands up to Regal for insulting America. Then we go to Nasty Boys in an enhancement match here. Not exactly the best of matches, but it's pretty basic. Nasty Boys do some duck and dodge, and then double team, double shoulder tackle, running over their opponents. Nasty Boys still heels here in spring of '94, and they're running over their opponents relatively quickly. Max Payne and Cactus Jack seem to be their primary opponents. Big running power slam by Brian Knobbs and the top rope elbow drop from Jerry Sags gets the victory for the Nasty Boys here. And again, continuing hype of the attack and feud between Bunkhouse Buck and Dustin Rhodes, and the lead to the WCW, I guess, match between them in the bull rope style. Cactus Jack and Vader, Big Van Vader, is there, and they are in a Texas Tornado style match. I guess that's kind of like Falls Count Anywhere for this point. Jack and Vader continuing to go. Vader manages a double shot there and kind of the big run, and Vader hits a whole bunch of shots, series of punches and the like. Doesn't get all he wants on him, but gets enough. Needless to say, short clothesline by Vader is ducked by Cactus. Cactus clotheslines Vader over the top rope into the floor. Not exactly where they want to be, but they end up going out onto the floor and continuing the brawl. Of course, the feud between the two from 1993, the year before, has fallen a little bit a year later. I did not realize that Harley Race was still with Vader at this time. I don't know why I forgot that. The brawl on the floor, Vader does get taken down by Cactus, and Race interjects himself into things with Cactus a little bit, tries to interfere. Vader and Cactus go back into the ring. The brawl continues. Not to be surprised there, as you're not going to see a technical masterpiece here by any stretch of the imagination. Hard kick by Cactus, and gets what he wants out of it. Goes back to the outside. The brawl continues, and hard shots. Harley Race gets taken down for his trouble in the interim, and ultimately, continuation there. Cactus Jack grabs a steel chair, which I guess is legal because the referee doesn't stop him, wraps the chair around the head and such of Vader. Cactus with the leg drop across Vader's throat and such there. Continuation of the match continues with the brawl. The brawl is pretty intense and somewhat, there. And then we see a sleeper hold, which doesn't exactly bode well for Cactus, as that Vader powers out of it, and they go for the pinfall. The pinfall is not the end of the match. I guess they're kind of doing a Texas deathmatch rules here. Eventually, Cactus is unable to return to action, and Harley Race takes a bunch of bumps. Power bomb on the pile driver, and power bomb on the floor there, and that is not a good place to be. Cactus Jack stays down after the 3 count in the Texas deathmatch style rules, and that's where we end up going there. Dusty Rhodes kind of closes the show a little bit, and also we see Ron Simmons and Rick Rude are going to do battle at some point. Sting involved in the future, and they're plugging Slamboree 94 as we close this particular edition. We'll be back with more right after this, including the wonder that is the NXT in your house review for later tonight.